Hello. Well, it's getting to be that time. Christmas is right around the corner, and we've got lots of stuff to do. And I've been working on some dog and cat ornaments that you could make yourself. And I thought I would show them to you and explain to you how I made them. These will be for sale in my Etsy shop. I have a couple other of these kind of pillow dolls that I had done before earlier. I have a couple of them. I'm still working on some. These are only two I've got done right now, but they are also in my shop. And so I'm not going to do a tutorial on these, and I don't have the fabric prints for them. These are still really new for me, that I'm working out all the bugs, and so those are not available to purchase. But I wanted to show them to you and explain to you how I made them, and if you know how to print on fabric, I'm sure you can make these yourself. Really, they're really easy. They're made the same way that I made these dolls that I explained to you before, how to make them. If you know how to print on fabric, you can make these ornaments. They're great for craft shows, but also for dog lovers, cat lovers. They make a unique gift, and you can. I love to decorate things, and this is like a blank palette. What you print out is just the dog, and you can, oh, I gotta have to fix that. I bled on one of them. I forgot about that. Anyways, but you print out the dog, and then you add another piece of material behind it, so it's kind of like a pillow, and then you sew it together. And I've showed you this before, like I've done with this girl here. I use a zigzag stitch. If you have a what are those? Those sewing machines called the do that, I can't remember. But anyways, if you have one of those machines, a serger, then you don't have to do a zigzag stitch. A straight stitch really doesn't finish the edges. And what I also do for the edges is I put some white glue on the back of my sewing, and that keeps the edges from raveling as well. And I do clip into my my pillows. Now, where did that one go? I just had it in my hand. I do clip into my pillows at corners and circles, and I do clip right into the sewing, because I know that I'm going to put the tacky glue on there. And also, a lot of times I will put rhinestone on there, and then in the back, I go over it with the hot glue if I need to. Anything that's not, that's open or that I've clipped, I will put some glue on it, whether it's tacky glue or it's hot glue. It just depends on where I am in the stage of making these. When I first start, I print out my dog or my cat, and then I put a piece of muslin, I add it to it, I sew them together. I leave the bottom open, and then I take them to my table after I've sewed from here around. And for the dogs, I just kind of followed, an outline. I didn't go in all the way, but I did. This one is a little smaller, and I did follow this one pretty good. And you can do that, and it really pops it out too, makes it look 3D. But with the kitty cats, I didn't really do that. They were on a nice background, which I thought was very cute. So I just kind of kept them as a pillow. And then for some reason, where is it? This one here, I was working on it, and I just wanted it to be smaller. So I took the stuffing back out, and the hand stitching I did at the bottom, cut some off, and then I sewed it up again. So this one is a little shorter than the rest. I I was going to try to do more of an outline of the cat, but it didn't work out that way. So with cats, you know, they've got fur going all over. It's kind of hard to go right in like you can a dog. And this one here. And then the other thing that I do, like for all of the dogs, I took a red magic marker and I colored in the hat, the Santa hat, because the red just didn't come out that well on the printer. It comes out, but it's not bright. And as long as you don't get these wet or you're not going to put them in the washing machine, you won't have a problem. But if you do leave them in a wet basement or something for the year and bring them out again for Christmas, you might get a surprise. It might, if it gets wet or moist, it might run and bleed. So just a word of caution there. And so anyways, let's go back to what I do. I do a zigzag stitch all the way around. I leave the bottom open. I do all of them at once. Then I stuff them. And then I do a running, it's called a blanket stitch. I stitch up the bottom. I have this one here that I just made as a pillow. And you can see the stitching there. It's just hand stitching, but I do the blanket stitch, which is a little nicer edge, but you never see it. It gets covered up. You can't see that on this girl. Even in the back, you can't see it. And I'm not finished. I was just playing around with this one. I will make that nicer. You know, I was just experimenting. And this one, I used part of a doily and some hanging beads. She's a real cutie. I use those, I don't know what you call them, but they're beads that come on they have an adhesive back, and they're like flourishes that you can get. They used to use them a lot in scrapbooking. So anyways, I just go and I sew up the bottoms after I've stuffed them. And one thing I did with all of my dogs and cats here is I put 2 rows of 2mm rhinestones all the way around, which covers these edges where you've stitched, and that just makes it stand out. Like you can see with this little girl, I put pink rhinestones on there, and it just looks pretty because she has a pink shirt on. Okay, so coffee time. Okay, so anyways, this is a Cocker Spaniel. And the other thing that I do, these are dollar store tags. I've had them for a couple of years. And I just decorate. And this here is that tinsel that you get at Walmart or dollar store. They have it at both places. And I just glued that around after I did the rhinestones. And for the snow, I love this Snow Tex. And you can get this at Michael's. And you have to check, because you have to really look, because sometimes, especially during the Christmas season, they run out of it fast. Amazon does sell it, but they charge a lot more, which is surprising, and it's not the norm. So let me just go through. Oh, and I put a holder here if somebody wants to hang that on the tree, or if they just want to set it up with their decorations next to candles. As long as the candles aren't lit, because this is fabric. And it will go up in smoke if it gets too close. So you just want to pay attention to that. I just use nylon cording. Actually, it's fishing reel that I use. I got it for 50 cents years ago at a garage sale. Some guy was selling all his fishing stuff. So I bought this and I use it. And it's still, I got a ton on there. You don't have to go to the store and buy a whole brand new one, because it can be expensive. Now with this little girl, I did some hanging beads. And I also put a red hanging bead in there, dangle that I made for her. And this here is from Hobby Lobby. There, you can see it better here. And it has all this, you know, iridescent and gold look on it. But it was huge. It was probably this wide. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to use it anyways. I'm going to figure it out, because I put Happy Holidays and it was gold. I had gold outlined rhinestones. She's a tabby, so she has kind of gold fur. And I said, I want that in there. So I glued it all on, and it was huge like that. And I cut it all down. Now you have to have patience. And you say, what a waste. No, not really, because if I didn't use it and it was stuck in a drawer somewhere, that would be a waste. But I wanted to use it, and Hobby Lobby sells it. And so what I did for their paws is there is at Hobby Lobby, and I think Joann's is I think it's called Fun Fur, or no, it isn't. It's called plush plush felt. Okay, there's felts, and then there's plush felt, and plush felt has like fur on it, and it's not that expensive. And when you're only cutting little objects, it's really great. So I just cut circles. I cut 2 layers. I glued them together, and I decided, how big I wanted my circles, and I put them there. And he's got paws. She only has 1 paw, but I maybe I'll put one over here. But every time I did, it didn't look right. So more coffee. Okay. So I had this sticker, which was a stocking, and this I had, and gingerbread, and I bought a lot of poinsettias, and then this is just trim, and I put little centers of red glitter paper and some this green eyelash trim. I love it. I use it every year, and I'm running out of it, and I haven't seen it around. I did get it at Hobby Lobby a few years ago, and I have not been able to find it since. So this one here, I put these are bells. They make a little tiny noise. Bell dangles. And, I did use lace. I like to dress them up with lace. It has gold rhinestones around it. Then this guy, now I'll show you. These 3 dogs here are different sizes because I was experimenting with size. I like this size the best. And let me put it in my hand so you can see what size it is. And this one is probably about the same. But this one is smaller, and I kind of like that too. So, but then there wasn't as much room to decorate, but I did decorate. Here's some hanging stars, and this is from the Dollar Tree. It says Joy. A little gingerbread from Hobby Lobby, poinsettias, more of this silver tinsel with stars. I used a red tinsel on this one with, and I got some snow on the back there, snow text. The red on this one, I made a little bow up there. I gave this little girl, well, it could be a boy, but, well, no. She's wearing feathers. I think she's a girl. This little girl some feathers because her hat print actually was feathers. So I thought, well, I'll keep that going. And she had a red hat, so I marked it with a red magic marker. I do use the permanent markers. They don't tend to bleed as much. And I put a little sled dollar store stickers and some more of that pretty green eyelash trim. But I guess he's my favorite one. Well, next to him. I'm going to try and get some more dogs done. And so I think I showed them to you all, except for this one. Now I put some bells hanging off her hair, and I gave her a little snow on her nose. I thought that was so cute. And the print says, "A Merry Christmas." And that was on all of the kitten ones. But I covered up all of them except for this one. And this is just an applique. And here we've got a little wreath. And I made a bow to put in her hair and gave her snow. I didn't give her any of the big tinsel. I didn't do that with all of them. I just wanted to do it with certain ones. Like he certainly didn't need any more. He was big. And I think the red, I used red rhinestones here. And they're a little bigger than these rhinestones, obviously. So I think they're 2, maybe 2.5 millimeter. I know these are 2, so, or maybe even 3 millimeter. But I love them. I bought them. I got them on Amazon. Anyway, so I just thought I would stop by, put the camera on before I put these all in my store, because I'm going to put them all in tonight. And they will be there for purchase, including this little girl and this lady. And I have fun with all of them. This one also has those adhesive, flat back adhesive flourishes, and I like them. I also use some black permanent, very, very fine marker to make her eyes and her eyebrow and her mouth stand out. I do that. I didn't do that with her yet, but I'm going to with the brown. I've done it before. And I also added rosy cheeks because she's black and white, and I thought, well, you know, she needs a little color in her cheeks because it's getting cold outside, and I don't care for that. But anyways, so here we are. Oh, and I am having 1,000 subscriber drawing. If you haven't entered yet, you can just put down in the comments, enter me please into your drawing, and I will do that. I'm working on a journal that I will be giving away. It's going to take a few weeks for me to get it done, especially with Christmas, and I have a craft show coming up. But I will give a week's warning for when I'm going to make the drawings, so you can all be here and watch me draw the name, whoever's going to win. So I thank you for stopping by, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and please leave a comment, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because you never know what I'm going to make next. I'll see you in the next video, and have a great weekend.